Hi everyone, it's Jennifer from Fiberflux. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to learn how to crochet this quick 1-hour cowl. This is pretty and just done in 8 rounds, and I know you're going to love it for those last minute gifts. Before we get started, be sure and click that subscribe button. I share full project tutorials like this one, stitch tutorials, vlogs, roundups, and a lot more. We have lots of fun on the channel. So if you haven't yet already, be sure and click that subscribe button and get all the latest Fiberflux video updates. So this is done in just 8 rounds, and our circumference is about 28 inches around. And then the height of our cowl is about 7.5 inches. So very, very quick and easy. And you can kind of slouch this, or you can kind of pull it up and get a little extra warmth. So we're going to learn how to do this from the bottom and work our way up. And like I said, it's just 8 rounds, okay? So let's jump in and talk about supplies and then get right to the crochet. For this project, you'll need a tapestry needle, a pair of scissors, a tape measure is super helpful, especially if you want to change it up a bit. We're going to be using a 9mm crochet hook. Now I wanted to say as a side note that depending on who makes the hook that you'll be using, sometimes they call it an N hook, sometimes they call it an M hook. This one calls it an M/N hook, but just make sure it's a 9mm hook and you'll be just fine. We're going to be using some number 6 super bulky yarn on the yarn weight scale. And this is Wool Ease Thick and Quick from Lion Brand, and this is, in case you're wondering, the Carousel colorway number 619, and each ball of this is 87 yards. Now, as a side note, the Wool Ease Thick and Quick, this is one of like their prints. You can get metallics, you can get solid colors, you can get self-striping, variegated, etc. And you just have to just keep an eye on the yardage because they have different yardage for some of their different ones. For example, the solid Wool Ease Thick and Quick has more yardage per ball. This one has less because it's a print. Okay, just so you know when you're looking for yarn. This is a great one skein project, so if you have something in your yarn stash too, just make sure it's a super bulky 6 and recommends that 9mm crochet hook, okay? So we have our yarn and hook and we're ready to go. So to begin, what we're gonna do is put a slip knot on our hook. Leave yourself a little bit of a tail, wrap the yarn around your fingers to make a loop, bring the yarn behind the loop, reach in with your hook, bring up a loop, and tighten. Now we're going to do our starting chain. We're going to make a big ring, and it's going to be the bottom edge of our cowl, and we're going to work straight upward, okay? So there's no special stitch count for this. It doesn't matter how many chains you do, as long as it can fit comfortably over your head. Now you can make more chains and make it a very large ring that kind of has some drape to it, or you can make a narrower ring and make it like closer up against the neck. So it's totally up to you. I'm going to do 50 chains for mine, okay? Now we talked a little bit about sizing at the beginning of the video, so if you need to adjust the sizing, there's no special stitch count. It's just however many chains of the ring that you want it to be, okay? So I'm going to do 50 though for mine. So to make a chain, wrap the yarn around the hook and bring it through the loop. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 47, 48, 49, and 50. So here's our starting chain. And if we kind of bring it up together like this, it'll kind of give you an idea of the opening of the cowl. Okay, so if you want it to be bigger, just make more chains. All right, so now what we want to do is we're going to join in the farthest chain, that very first chain we made, we're going to join with a slip stitch to create that ring so to make the beginnings of our cowl, okay? But we need to be careful not to twist our chain up. So the easy way to do that is just take, this is the front of your chain that looks like V's, and if you flip it over, it kind of looks like links, okay? So the front of it is these V's. We want to keep it from being twisted, all right? So what I just do is I take my thumb and I sort of just run it down the front of the chain without letting go, all the way down, and if there's a twisty spot, just untwist it a little bit. See, like right here, I have this little like bend in it, and then just keep running your thumb down all the way to the end, and then you can kind of let go. And that's just a real easy way to do that. Okay, so we're going to join with a slip stitch, like I said, in the farthest chain from the hook. So insert the hook into that chain, wrap the yarn around the hook, bring up a loop. Now you're going to bring that loop through the loop that's already on your hook. And now this is the very beginning of our cowl. Again, you can adjust the chains as needed. Okay, so super easy. All we're going to do is chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to work a double crochet into the first chain and every chain all the way around. Now, as we do this, hold this tail along the edge as you work. Because this is a 1-hour cowl, this will save you a little bit of time later. Okay, so holding that tail along the edge, wrap the yarn around the hook, insert it into that very first chain, and bring up a loop. Wrap yarn around hook, bring through the first 2 loops, wrap yarn around hook, bring through the last 2 loops, okay? Hop over to the next chain, work a double crochet into that chain. Next chain, work a double crochet into that chain. And we're just going to do this all the way around. This is super easy, super quick, okay? So double crochet in the next chain, double crochet in the next chain. If you notice, I'm still holding that tail along the edge as I work. See, and it's getting incorporated into our stitches, okay? So keep working double crochets in each chain around, and once we get to the end of round 1, we'll rejoin, finish up round 1, and move on to round 2, okay? All right, just coming up to the end of round 1, working that last double crochet in that last chain. Now to close the round and to finish up, we're going to count 3 chains up and join with a slip stitch to close the round. Insert the hook into that chain, bring up a loop. Now bring that loop through the loop already on your hook. And round 1 is complete. All right, we already have a little bit of height on our cowl. Okay, let's move on to round 2. Round 2 is the round you'll do for the entire rest of your cowl. You can take it and repeat round 2 as much as you want to get your cowl as tall as you would like it to be, okay? So what we're going to do is chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go into that next stitch here. So you can see our chain 3 is here, and then we have our next double crochet. So basically in the double crochet from the round before it, you're going to hop over to there, okay? So work a double crochet into that next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, and all you're going to do again is work double crochets in each stitch around. This is so super easy. All right, and very, very quick. So just work double crochets in each stitch around. All right, so go ahead and do that. And then when we rejoin once again, we'll close up round 2 and move on to finish our super fast cowl. All right, just working that last double crochet of the round. And then once again, we're going to count 3 chains up. 1, 2, 3. Join with a slip stitch to close the round. Okay, so here is our cowl so far. Now we're going to repeat round 2 over and over and over again, like I said, until our cowl is as tall as we would like it to be, or until you run out of yarn, whatever comes first. And I'm just going to give this, remember this tail we wove in as we went along? I'm just going to give it a little trim. I wove it in pretty far, and I left a little bit left just to trim back. Okay, so keep repeating round 2, and we will rejoin in just a minute and finish up our cowl. All right, just coming up to the end of the last round here. And we're just going to work in that 3rd chain up, work a slip stitch to close the round once again, okay? So here is our cowl, super quick and easy. Now, this is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds, okay? I did 8 rounds, and then I had just a little bit of yarn. I couldn't get a 9th round. So 8 rounds total for our skein of yarn, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is just cut the yarn, leaving a little bit of a tail, and we're going to fasten off. So just wrap the yarn around the hook, bring it through, and just tighten. And the last thing we need to do is just weave in the end. So if you wove in the end as you went along when we started like I did, you should just have 1 yarn tail left, okay? So grab your tail, thread it onto your tapestry needle, and then you can kind of turn this inside out if you want to. It is reversible for the most part. I like this outside, like the look of it a little bit better, so I'm just going to weave mine on the inside. But you can reverse this, totally fine. All right, so we're going to go in one direction along the inside here with our tail. And I'm just going to kind of go in a couple inches and bring it through. Then you're going to come back in the other direction And just bring that through just like that, and that will lock it into place. Just give it a little snip and then just straighten it out and that tail will disappear, okay? So our 1 hour cowl, you can kind of straighten it out. Our 1 hour cowl is complete. It looks beautiful, it's fast to stitch up, and you can make this for just about anyone on your list. So that is how you crochet the 1 hour cowl. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure and click the subscribe button to get all the latest Fiberflux video updates. Thanks again.